Well, it's December 25th, and much of the world is celebrating Christmas, so Merry Christmas to you if you do celebrate. Happy Hanukkah if you celebrate Hanukkah, or, whatever you're celebrating today. My wish for you is that you have an amazing day with amazing people. And speaking of wishes, I thought it would be real fun to talk about one of the most iconic spells in Dungeons and Dragons today on the DnDaily vlog. We're going to talk about the Wish spell. Before I get into that, I just want to say sincerely, I hope you have an amazing day. I hope the end of this year is turning out to be incredibly fun and exciting with good people all around you. And if not, I sincerely hope things get better quickly. I got this wonderful fun shirt today for a gift from my wonderful wife, and so I'm sporting the new duds and happy and excited and thought, Wish spell is such a fun and crazy and can be so chaotic depending on how it's used. I thought it'd be neat to talk a little story about how I got introduced to the Wish spell. See, I think I made out very well in this regard because I learned really early on that you don't mess with wish spells. I was a very young dude. I had just started playing Dungeons and Dragons. In fact, it might have been the first or second time I ever played Dungeons and Dragons. And we were kids. We were like 10 years old or something. And so the kid that was running for me said, somebody got a ring of 3 wishes, I think it was, or something like this. And so, if I remember correctly, we were fighting some wolves or something like that. And so either I can't remember if it was myself or someone else. It's a little fuzzy at this point, but whoever said it, they wished that the wolves were dead. Simple wish, right? You would think that would make perfect sense. Well, the person who made the wish, all of a sudden, there were no more wolves. They had been long dead. But where were the friends of the player or the character? What happened? Where did everything go? Because guess what? That character got whooshed away into the future. And so then they had to use their second wish spell to wish themselves back to where things were and put things right. And so, as you can imagine, I think many of us learned our lesson that day. We all had a good laugh. Again, we were young kids and having a good time and sort of got the idea of like, oh, maybe it's real important how we word our wishes. That's kind of funny because I think there's a certain level of truth to that in our reality. Like, our words have a lot of power, and what we say can be, well, it can be helpful and it can be hurtful. And I think that's true. I believe that to be a truth. I've sort of experienced that in my own life, and I want to say one of the things I think that has sort of happened with D&D is that with the wish spell, I think DMs have kind of gotten, at least the more experienced DMs have gotten a little more relaxed with that sort of thing happening. Like, for instance, they used it in Critical Role. That was a really neat one. It was in one of the one-shots that they did, so you may not have seen it, and I hope I'm not spoiling anything. I'm not going to give any details, but I'm just going to say that the spell pretty much worked exactly how it was intended, which I thought was really cool because that makes for a really good story. And the bottom line is the Dungeon Master shouldn't be opposing the players. If that's the kind of game you're in, well, okay, it can be fun for a little while, and it can be good for some laughs, but the reality is, like, those games get kind of old. Like, I know I wouldn't want to play in that kind of a game, and I probably have maybe come across that way as a DM in the past, and I work really hard to make sure that's not what I'm doing now. I really want the players to feel as if I'm on their side, and that I'm playing with them, not against them. And I think Wish is one of these spells where, you can have lots of fun with it. You can do zany stuff, and you can make sure that the players are very precise in their language and don't leave any loopholes. And it kind of leads to another level of like, contracts in general in Dungeons and Dragons, because if you go to, like, let's say you go to the hells, the 9 hells or something like that, or you somehow have to deal with devils, you better be really careful, because the letter of the law is super important in those cases. And so yeah, wish spells are fun. If you ever have one, if you're the DM and you ever have one come up in your game, my suggestion to you is just let them have it. Let the players get what they want. It's gonna make for a great story, and that's what we're all sitting at the table for. Yeah, so that's my one wish. No, that's silly. That's my one hope, is that you do that with your game. I do wish that you have amazing games with all of your friends. I hope you have amazing friends that you get to play games with, whether you're at a table or whether you're virtually playing over the internet. One way or the other, I hope to see you at a table someday. And remember, hey, keep rolling 20s. Never forget, it's your game. Play your way.